Hi, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here, and it's time for January reflections on time. Look at me. I'm going to start with a digital journal because this is where this January's kind of started out for me. So the digital journal is where I'm starting because this is where most of my practice is. I do not have a paper journal this year yet. It may well evolve, but for now, as part of my being kind to myself, this is how it's going to be. And exactly what I'm putting in has changed because as per my last video where I did November and December together, you could see that the practice was kind of like taking a back seat for other things. And there are other things going on this year, and I've decided that that might be the kindest way to treat myself. So this is one from Amethyst Ascension. It has this index page for other things which I've started collecting in here. So I've got my 2023 Bewitched seasonal spread. I've got my hashtag 2024 Seasons of the Witch, some pages from that in here. I have one in here with Uncovering Past Lives, my first exploration. I have one on Moonchild and Storytime Tarot Tales, which is something that, again, Amethyst Ascension did a few of those last year, and I've been meaning to get back and do those because they look like so much fun. And in her Facebook group, she's shared her stories. So I now have the stories, and I probably will get around to doing those. So these are all extra tabs in this journal. So we go to January 2025. So here we are. So my journal is Samson. I use Noteshelf, which is a free app to use it in, and I just copy and paste. And I have I can't do fancy texts and things in the Samson Noteshelf. It's just typing in straight lines. So this is an image that I snapped, I've copied and pasted from the internet basically and popped into here as my page. So waking up to another day of being magical, dark-hearted, fabulous, B.I.Arch. And it's a quote from Anne-Marie Elysia. I just thought it was a really apt thing for starting out in January. So the wise witch's house. So this just felt like a nice cottage to end on. Some of the people that I have watched, this isn't everyone, it's just a good list of the ones I watched maybe one or more than one video on. Books wise, so we finished the House Witch book 1, I give that 5 stars. Sweatpants and Spells, I don't know, I didn't really follow the story much. These are audiobooks, so I didn't really follow it. I give it 3 stars. It didn't grip me. It certainly wasn't like the House Witch where I found myself constantly, because I was doing housework, rewinding 10 minutes so I could hear what I'd missed. And I'm still listening to the Vampire System on Pocket FM. I'm giving that story a 4-star. And what did I watch? So I watched Only Murders in the Building. So that's a series. I'm really enjoying that one. And that one's on Disney. It's actually quite funny. I watched The Legend of the Christmas Witch. Now, I think I watched that on the 1st or 2nd of January, but I talked about it in my December wrap-up. Neighbours. I'm a big fan of Neighbours. It's a series. It's on Prime. It's been going for 30+ years, I think, probably coming up for 40, something. So it's from my childhood. It's just drama from Australia. I really enjoy it. It's really big, or was really big in the UK, but I enjoy that. Devious Maids on Disney. That's quite funny. Don't Worry Darling. That was quite a dark sci-fi type film, actually. I think it had Harry Styles in it. I'm not a fan of him particularly, but I think that was Harry Styles. And playing something you wouldn't expect to see him do. I bet he enjoyed being that character, but it was not. It was a little bit concerning, yeah, that's what I can say, a bit concerning. The Devil Conspiracy film on Prime, really enjoyed that film. It just made you think a bit more, about conspiracy theories, I suppose. And it was more like aimed at the old gods. We always see the Clash of the Titans and all these light named gods, but you never hear about the devil herself. So this was the Devil Conspiracy. And I did watch something the other day with Will Ferrell and that girl from Legally Blonde. Can't remember her name. Reese Witherspoon. Something Invitation. You Are Invited, or Cordially Invited, I think it might be called. That was on Prime. That was hilarious. So if you're looking for something to watch, I recommend The Devil Conspiracy. It's not a scary one. I didn't think it was scary, so it's a great afternoon, matinee type film. You might not want to let little people, like under the age of maybe 10, watch that one. But yeah, so those. Was there anyone here that I wanted to talk about? Oh yes, Joe Montalone's got a new book out. He's a massive Thoth reader and loves going down wormholes. I believe that's his words, into study. And so he's not the law on Thoth and how it's written and read. His book is on his interpretations and how he works with it. So Thoth is a massive subject, and we have like the purists who, if you want to read it, you must have read every text, every this, every that. I'm not that way inclined. I'm just more like, if somebody's having a conversation that fits my own brain or wormhole, I'll go that way and I'll listen to it and see what's going on, and I'll pick up some information from there, and then I'll go over there and I'll pick up some information there. I'm not a dedicated, I must read every text type person either. So I have seen some people say that he doesn't talk enough about particular things that I don't even know what the words are to use. But I like his warped brain and how he dives through, like he talks about his planes of existence and how they create infinite planes that become one, and it all becomes blended, and how everything is everywhere at once type thing. So I've ordered that book, but it's on pre-order, and here it doesn't come until, I'm not sure, it's a few months maybe before it gets here. So that one was really good. Aries, I've been following, she's got a witchcraft series going, and she was doing Hecate for January, and she's moving into another goddess energy for February. So she's working with energies, and she's putting out little workshops and workbooks and things. So that's a good one if you're wanting to follow along with some deity work. And she's also looking at moving into joining in with Debbie's witchy vlog for her February self-love, self-reflections workshop this month through the YouTube and the Facebook group, Divination and Spirituality. New tarot deck needs support from the Ritual Kitchen by Laura. Yes, that Kickstarter finishes soon, middle of January, about the 20th of January or something, I think. And she's a British witch, lives on a barge in London, and she's a kitchen witch, hence her name, The Ritual Kitchen. She's produced a tarot deck based on Rider-Waite-Smith images, and each card goes with a recipe, which is what I love about this. So you get a recipe to the card. I haven't seen that done. I've seen suggestions of food and things, but she's actually linking recipes to the card. So I would really like to get that deck. That I don't have in my collection. So I'd love, if anyone else is watching this, to maybe pop over and see about giving her some support. Now that deck isn't in its completion. It's not completed. So we are backing, understanding that there'll be a slight delay before it's printed and released. Because what we're doing is we're helping to fund her, to give her time to take from not having to work to create the rest of the deck. So part of it's created and she's got to do the rest of it. And obviously to make the recipes and the food and everything. So that all costs money. So she's hoping that by doing this, we'll be funding her to be able to create it. Neve Valley Art, that was quite good. Craggy Brook Witchery, I can't remember what I watched from that, but I think I watched a couple of videos from them. Yashi Corin Gamify Life video, that's an excellent video if you have been following along with the other Gamify Your Life channels on YouTube that have been doing this. But she actually lays out in very clear instruction. It's a couple months old, this video. She lays out in clear instruction how she's doing it, and it gives you a good idea of what you want to do. Now, I personally don't need to gamify my life. It just feels like a child's reward system to me, personally, but I see what other people get out of it, and I do actually enjoy watching what they're doing. I can't do that. That's just too much for my little brain. Next, what did I do? Finished up the Season of the Wish 2024 hashtag and the Kiss the Toad spread in my magical journal that goes along with that set of prompts, and I've screenshot and popped into here. So this spread is using the Alice in Wonderland Oracle by Yasmin Beckett Griffiths and Stacey oh dear, yeah, you know who I mean, and the Witches Oracle and the Dream Keepers Tarot. That spread is on a video, so you can go and watch that one. I don't need to talk about that one too much. And then obviously my reflections on that spread and what I did with it. I have a full moon chart here for True Sidereal Sky from Amethyst Ascension. And here's what I've done this year so far. I've chosen to go back to working with the moons, but not the moons in their astrological signs, probably. I think I'm going to go with working with the moons in their name again. So January is a wolf moon. So I have copied out some information from my moon diaries from the FlickeringCauldron from the last couple of years, and I've popped it in here. So it's got some information on it. This is from another diary, an older one, Magical Intentions and Correspondences, just to see how they differ slightly and if there's anything from the two that I want to use. It's also referred to, for those of you who want to know, the stay-at-home moon, which was in the 2023 almanac. And there's also a link here to the timemeddler.co.uk, the Old English lunar calendar, which is where some of this information here has come from. And in this one, so I've got here the full moon name and the date. So December to January, it would be called the full moon after Yule. And then the full moon or wolf moon. We have the snow moon, and then we've got, it's still called snow moon here. We have the Lenten moon and worm moon, so that's March. The egg or Easter moon, April's moon, so it's called pink moon. The milk moon, known as a flower moon. The flower moon, May to June. June's full moon is strawberry moon. So just going through the differences in names and how they fit in, and then I can delve into those moons if I feel like that name suits me better, or if one's not pertinent to this part of the world, I can then look for the one for this world, and I can like find my bits of bobs to go with it. And obviously I popped the wolf in there to remind me it's the wolf moon at the time I'm doing this, and just some moon phases in there, moon phase information. So I pulled out from my very first set of journals in the Happy Days planner. I made a insert that I could move around my planner for the full moon. So I went back and I took the information off that full moon, and I've put the questions in here, and I've done my spread around it, and I've decorated my pages just with free art and things that I have hiding up there. And I used the Sacred Revolution Oracle by Lainie Dalby, and I used the Tower of Transformation by Willow Adrena and Jasmine Lee Corrie. So there's my spread for that. And the writing on here pertains to the Oracle cards, not the tarot cards. The tarot cards have words on them. They already have keywords on them, but it's just the prompts for what I was doing with the Oracle cards there. I also did, so this is how I knew what I wanted to do with the moons. This is kind of what stuck it for me. So I did an old spread from Ethany called Full Moon in Gemini. And I can't remember again where I got this one, how many years ago this one was, whether it was 3 years ago or 2 years ago. However, this spread was just a bit harsh, and I think I've written it here, haven't I? Probably won't be repeating this one as a Gemini. It doesn't make sense astrologically to me to the sign of communication. This just felt like a beat yourself up spread for a full moon. It didn't feel like a release or a embrace, or it just didn't, for me, suit what was going on. And at times it felt a bit chaotic with the questions. So I've done it, and I used the Gothic Literature Tarot by Syrian Shadow. That was really nice. I really like that deck. But I won't be repeating that particular spread questions. I'll change them somehow or some way, or probably not use them again. Now, the Wolf Moon, just to go back and talk about, is a moon for also use the energy of the Wolf Moon to create protection barriers around yourself, your house, your home, your loved ones, and it's a good time for imbuing your protections. So I watched The Witch of Mushroom Forest, and she did a Defence Sun Crossing candle working. So I just popped that in here in case I ever want it for protection. And I also watched the Mists of Emporium, like a Wall of Fire protection oil. Again, I popped that in here should I want to use it. So I've now got like a working pages within this journal for January to link to the moon. So it's probably becoming a bit more of a grimoire really, but I did the Aries Witchcraft spread, and I used Lily White deck and Fantastical Creatures, which worked really well. Again, there's a video to that, so I don't need to talk about these decks here. You can go and get that video. I had a couple of dreams and synchronicities, so that was really weird. Both kind of affirmed. I had affirmations for what I saw. And the weirdest one was the Eye of Horus. Now, I don't really know much. I know about the Eye of Protection. I didn't know about the Eye of Ra, Eye of Horus, if that sounds daft. I didn't know that was their names. I didn't know there were two. I didn't know they came from the same person. And I didn't know one represented sun, one represented moon. But the point that I had it in my dream, and then I woke up, and when I went to Google Egyptian eye, I think I typed in, I was told Eye of Horus specifically, and it was specifically this way orientated. So when I started looking up, I discovered that that way orientated is called the Eye of Horus. If it was flipped the other way, it's the Eye of Ra. And then they have their two meanings, moon and sun, and similar aspects to them. They also had the flaming sacred heart in my dream. So that one was really good. And there's a couple of other psychic things that happened, which I got to do. I did the Gothic tarot spread, Crossroad tarot spread from the Gothic Literature Tarot. So I took a spread from there and did the spread. This is how it is. This is what this is calling the Gothic Crossroad spread. And re-snapped my cards independently, put them down here, and then put my wording to go with each card to answer the questions as I was going. And then that's last year's. So this is my digital journal. This is my moon diary. Love it. Again, there's a walkthrough of this one. Got it a couple months back. So what I like about this is in the front you have your moon phases, and it has prompts for the moon phases, and then it goes more into depth and more into like colours, crystals, herbs, elements. So this is more about magical workings this year. And what I also like is having these, because I am not necessarily, although I've started working with the full moon and new moons, or the big moons, I noticed I'm being pulled at different times of the moon phase. So that's really what I want to focus on, is what moon phase am I being pulled in, and what does that moon phase represent. So today is the first quarter. And I will look into what that means as well. So you've got your other bits of information in here, your planets, your retrogrades, planetary associations, full of lovely information, your zodiac moons. So as I talked about the Gemini full moon last month, so the attributes are communication, adaptability, curiosity, and learning. The magic is spells for enhancing communication, intellectual pursuits, networking, travel. Colours are light blue. Yeah, so lots of things that we already know. Herbs, lavender. I don't know why lavender comes up, because I'm not really a big lavender girl, me personally. And then you see it's still a lot of missed days in my practice, so I didn't use a lot of decks. So what happened is, so we have the Capricorn Witch, theme of the month. Looks like Maleficent, and I always think of, it's because she's an earth character, so it's earth-centric magic if you want to focus on the Witch of the month. But I always think of this as the devil, and I always think of this as fire. Every time I just see devil, fire. I never really associate Capricorn with earth, bizarrely. I just think of them as trouble. Yes, you know who you are, you're trouble. And then it's got lots of fabulous workings and things here. Talismanic stone is onyx, colour being black, of course, as you see here. Are many Capricorns kind of goth-inspired clothing? I might have to look at that. I know most Capricorns I know are excellent with computers, whether they want to admit it or not. That includes you, Rochelle. We have introduction to the Celtic Oghams in here as well, which is nice. It's kind of then combined two kind of old diaries together. And then, yeah, you can just see I went as I needed to. Yes, so I was using the Dark Angels and Madame Loviise Oracle, which I believe is by Katrine Lane Clast, who was an Estonian seer. And this person is also linked to the Zircus Magi, which is out of print, which is a bit gutting because I really would have liked that. And now I understand why I felt such a pull to this particular deck, because it's Estonian. It's from an Estonian seer. Although I've had to purchase it in English because I don't understand Estonian. And for those of you who are starting out and don't know a lot about witches, everyone likes to know what type of witch they are when we start out. And nowadays I really am not bothered by this titling, but you've got something here about a green witch, a kitchen witch, a hedge witch, a lunar witch, and an eclectic witch, just to get you going. There's so many names, so many types. People are always trying to, name themselves, create new names, new genres. And we have the star card. So we've got tarot in this one as well, which I love. So we have the star card, and we have a beautiful cat here. And star card is because we're now at the point of this new moon, we're now into Aquarius as per the Western astrology. And then we have the standard pages at the back, which as you see, I'm apparently not using. So what I am doing is I bunch up my pages so that I can get to the bits that I want to get to. So they get bunched together. I'm into February, and then I can still access these pages quickly because I know where my page marker is. One more. So I bought Moon Phase Studios, the 2025 13 Moon Journal. This is their second volume, I believe that's 2, not 11. Because I wanted, a couple of years ago, you'll know that I had a big journal to do health tracking, and this is a similar thing. I brought it back in to do some health tracking. That's a candle I burnt. That's my affirmations for February. I'm collecting them in here as I open them. So it's a beautiful one. I don't think I've done a walkthrough of this, to be fair. It has a great contents page, and it's got lots of information here, and it is based on the moon phases. So it's for moon lovers. You've got your moon phases here and some information here about working with them. We have the rise of light and the fall of light. Again, you've got some good information here about the moon phases. So I said first quarter, didn't I? Because we've just come off a new moon. Your seeds of intention sown over the past 2 phases are now taking form. By way of trial and error, you're likely to have a better informed idea of how you will achieve your goal. And thanks to the first quarter, you can gain even more momentum. Remember to act on this. So I'm feeling like if I'm being drawn to this particular quarter, I need to pay attention to what it's saying and then think, did I set the intention there? Or did I forget? Or did I unintentionally set something in motion there? That here I can reassess, stop, or infuse to keep going. Because I'm forgetting a lot of things, Amy. It's age related. We've got navigating opportunity through the zodiac. And then here we go. So again, we've just gone up for full moon in Gemini. So expect an energetic, expressive energy whilst the moon is in Gemini. This air sign ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, provides curiosity, versatility, and desire for connection. Gemini helps us to embrace curiosity, enjoy intellectual pursuits, and strengthen our social bonds. And you've got that for each moon here. So it's beautifully done. We have some stuff in the Wheel of the Year and the 8 Sabbats. And I love this little set of sigils here for each one. I think that's so cute. You have wild cards and special events, so retrograde supermoons and eclipses, gardening by the moon, which is a big thing in UK and Europe, I think. So farmers garden by the moon. I'm saying farmers farm by the moon. It's been known and has been a thing for years and years and years. I'm not sure if fishermen do the same thing here in this country, but certainly gardening by the moon, because when you plant seeds at certain parts of the moon phase, they get more light. So if you plant under, I believe, like a supermoon, a full moon, they've got both sunshine, daylight, and then they've got full moon, night light to help them germinate and start growing. I think that's right. Then it teaches about journaling for growth. So it has these journaling pages in here. I'm not quite a favour with using these, I'll be honest. It takes me a long time to work out. I have, so we have a moon phase here that we can use. So I'm using that to track blood moon. We have guided visualization here, and then you can obviously write some stuff here if you need to. And then there's your guided visualization. Force at play, so we've got the wolf moon. And then here what I did was, as I said, I'm not regularly using these. So for the, you've got 3 moon phases, and it talks about them here. So we have the Capricorn new moon. Here I put new yoga app purchased and 3-month somatic workouts, which I started. The wolf moon, strengthen the mind, body, food, exercise. So I put 2 out of 3 were achieved. And under the Cancer full moon that came in, we have time to redress and balance your diet to help the body need to calm mind, body, soul. So here I've just put I failed, so I'm still eating way too much junk food. So that's a fail. And what you could do, the culmination of this is you could just create one thing to do for the whole month. But I actually decided I'll do 3 things that sort of all match together. So it's just healthy mind, body, spirit here, right? Then if I go to we go to March, where does March start? Right there. So we have March. March will be the Crow Moon. You get a page like this that you can write on. So this is me tracking my work days, days off and things goes into here. And then if there's an exception, it'll go onto this page. And then you have pages like this. So here we have a significant page. We have a full new moon, and then you get a deep diver's calling, what you're reflecting on this new moon. So you get like a bit more writing space for this. So every time it's a new or a full moon, you get more intentional space to write. Then we move into the sign of Aries. Guided visualization, so I could use that one. So again, that's a nice page, and you can also journal on that one. And then we move into the pink moon. So we finished this one, so it's the 29th of March. And we've got the 29th of March, 30th of March. Yeah, so because we start on a new moon, that becomes day 1. And then you go through. So it's not a monthly set, it's a monthly set thing. So that's where we're at. Now, how am I using the pages? I'm sorry, this is taking so long. I need to shush, don't I? How am I using the pages? I'm using the pages like this. So I've left space here for a bit more journaling because I'm on a quarter page. So I will write more stuff here later. So I've split my page into quarters, and as you see, one side's bigger than the other. Here I put my activities and what I'm doing in work, or whether it's my day off. So today I did a Soma workout, and then I did a yoga strength workout. And then if I walk home, I'd put that here if I was at work, and then I'd also put what duty I was on work. This side I'm using to track my food. So this is my food for the day. Here is for anything I want to put. So vitamins, comments, thoughts, dreams, whatever I can track here in this section. And I'm tracking my daily self-love affirmations in the little jar that I made in the February self-love reflections video 1. Again, video you can watch. And I made the jar there, and that's what I'm using. So I'll put that in here each day of the month. And then up here, I'm using to track the weather. So the temperature at the moment and what it looks like. And as you know, for years, I've been wanting to track wind speed or wind direction. I don't know why. Not really the wind speed, more the wind direction. So it's the wind direction I'm just curious on. So I want to know whether the wind direction affects what I'm feeling and hearing and sensing in the world. So that's something I just need to, I guess, find an app that tells me what direction the wind's blowing, because I really am no good with arrows pointing this way, that way. I actually need it to tell me what that means. So that's what I'm doing. So activity, weather, vitality, comments, thoughts, anything, food. And that's it. And then here, whatever I want to put in there, you know, period, whatever. Any other type of tablets I might have, or anything pertinent to me can go there, or my mood. So, yeah. Let's take a look at the Gothic Literature Tarot. So this is the one with these gorgeous silverbacks. These are just really nice. They just feel lovely. They actually feel this. I now know what butter soft feels like, and this is butter soft. That's all I can say. And these are just really nice cards. Now, I'm not a reader, I'm not a literist, so I can't tell you about the stories behind most of these, probably 99% of these, but the images are just so evocative. They've got like that clash of Jack the Ripper, so I'm guessing that's the Headless Horseman, Jack the Ripper-esque combined with, I don't know, it feels like, I want to say Heathcliff, romantic. Definitely has the goth literature romance vibe to it for me, right? Great Expectations, Lady Chatterley. those things. So yeah, a couple of spreads I did with these. I'm never upset when I see what comes out. I mean, look at that for the 3 of ravens, or 3 of air, 3 of swords. And he just looks really lonely. Dorian Gray. So in our majors, it tells us the stories. Look at that menacing picture. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde. So yeah, this one, very nice deck. And the couple of spreads that are in there actually are very intriguing. So this is the one that I did that was popped into my journal. So I just took pictures and popped it in there. You've got journal prompts in here as well. The Raven's Crypt spread, I was going to do that one, but I felt like that one would be better for another time. We have the Gothic Romance spread. We have journal prompts, character exploration, symbolism analysis, plot development, shadow work, creative visualization. So it does give a lot of information about working with them. And then you get quite a bit of information again on the card that you've pulled out, what it means. And then when you move into these, it's just one page and no picture. One, I did that spread for the full moon. I've used this for a spread previously that I did on camera. It's a really powerful oracle, actually. I can't read it intuitively always. Well, about 30% of the time I can read it intuitively. And I used this with this one. Now, I don't know if this deck's still in print, so it is this one, Tower of Transformation. The book is where it's kind of at for me with this deck. As you can see, there's an awful lot of information in here. So for the first time ever, I have taken a marker to the book and I started marking out the bits that were relevant, or I felt were relevant to the card, that I would use again when reading, just to make it easier to pull through that text, because yeah, we don't need all the words all the time. But yeah, so that is that one. The cardstock on this, I've said, is just absolutely rubbish, shocking in fact, which is why I wouldn't go out of my way to go and spend, or I've seen this going for 120 quid, I definitely wouldn't go out of my way to spend it on that. It's so thin, so thin. If you think that's 78 cards, it's about the thickness of a playing card deck. But these two went together really nicely. You do need the books, however, to fully delve into these, I think. But the multi-dimensional universe with the cosmos, and then you've got like statue of a Mother Earth. You've got the eye, we're in the middle of a circle of life, circle of the cosmos if you want. Got kind of yarny feelings here. So I just felt there's lots of rings, ribs, ripples going through. We've got circle of life there. They just felt very in sync with each other, even if they don't instantly understand. So the book normally brings out what's going on in this for me. Love in the highest octave for the 6, the lovers, and kind of like lightning strikes. So I think they sort of go together. Lightning strikes, lovers, sparking, fueling the relationship. So a place in darkness, and we've got the snake coming out, and then we've got like the dark stars here. So we have the sun and the brightness here, but it feels to me like the person's behind the brightness. They're still locked back here in this darkness. So that, again, it has that place to me. Oh, sorry, peace and darkness, not place and darkness, peace and darkness. Yeah. Incubation. The 7 of discs. And we've got the, to me it feels like anatomical heart in the background there, made up in the mandala. And I just love these here. Can you hear my fridge? It's the ice cube maker. That's what that weird creaking is. Equanimity with the 8 of Swords. So yeah. Oh, one more. Temple of the Goddess. We should appreciate that one, shouldn't we? Reminds me of that song I'm Blue. Is it Eiffel Tower? Temple of the Goddess. Yes, so that's that one. Again, I don't see many people use this one. I know it's a round deck, but it is, and it's collage. It's really out there for me, I will give you that, but it's colourful, so it kind of hits all the things I like, but it is quite a female-centred. I think I took a card out and put it at the bottom because it had an image on it that I don't like. So that sits underneath there. But yeah, it's quite female-centred. And usually when I'm using this, I come up to the divinatory meaning or the sparkling essence. That's normally where I get my write-up from, or my, I don't bother with these bits because I want my messages quickly. Okay, so here's my daily pull cards. This is the Madame Loviise. I keep calling her Madame Mimsy, actually. Madame Loviise. It's not even Loviise, is it? Loviise. Magi. I can never quite get the, when they double up on, so that's an E sound. When they double up on letters in Estonian. Loviise, I think, Magi. 1927, roughly. So these are from Make Playing cards. These are from Duck Soup. Here's the history of the madam and her history of who she also used to read for. So it's the Scorned Oracle. Oh, Scorned Oracle, and this is the modern edition. I'm just calling it her Oracle. And of course, there you go. There's the website for Duck Soup. And these are some of the other decks that they do. Right up my alley. And there's also some books and things there that you can get from that website. And here we have a spread for focusing on the energies that are going out. So there's a little spread there, so that's quite nice. So other than that, there's no guidebook. And I use the Dark Angels Tarot, Lo Scarabeo, Luca Cuso. Great deck. As you know, I've had it for years, really like it. Started using it this month. Felt unusual for me to pull it out for such a thing, but so just to state, this deck is created by an actual reader who used to read for lots of famous people and royalty as well, along with other gentry in Estonia. Estonia is Northern European, therefore the cards and the images in here link to that. It's got numbers, it's got playing card signs in there as well, so you can use it, but you have like keyword and then you have a or the word of the image, and then you have the word that goes with how it relates. So not a particularly big deck. If you're looking for like a massive diverse deck, this isn't going to be the deck for you, but I think this is a fantastic deck. It has that kind of magical-esque feel about it, like the Mildred Payne's Pocket Oracle. However, this is a real deck created by a real person that really used it. That's what I love about this. The Estonian version of this, that is also available from Duck Soup, is, as I think, more how they created it as an old card deck with all the Estonian writing on it and things. So the images have been revamped for this one. These aren't the images that would have been used in the original, of course. But just together as a morning reading, these two went together really nicely. The images read together. So what meditation with our temperance card, and it's just nice. You've got like your two. It just feels like that is in there, the alchemical mix. With the 8 of Coins, internal drama, opportunity, Ace of Wands. So I think you see self-entrapment or cuffs with the 10 of Pentacles. Now, you wouldn't necessarily go with that immediately, would you? However, the entrappings of life when we come to the ending of a life and we need to move on, or the ending of a cycle to move on, can be difficult to let go of. You can feel trapped. Equally, when it comes to the end of your life cycle, you can sometimes feel bound to earth by your things because you can't let yourself go or let things go. Hidden depths here with the Ace of Cups message and the 4 of Wands. And again, it's a heron, so it's a happy message. Corset for constriction with the Ace of Coins. So in this case, it might be that the if we just link that immediately, if we just say finance was my question here today, I would just say that my finances need to be, I need to like just close the purse strings a little bit on my finances because it's not as free flowing as I like to think it is. Building blocks or foundations with the King of Swords. Intention through the lens for 7 of Swords. That's perfect, isn't it? 7 of Swords, your lens and intention, what's going on. The crocodile with unslakable hunger. And we've got the 4 of Cups. So the 4 around you aren't enough. You're wanting more than you need to feed yourself. The watering can with regeneration and the Knight of Swords. Off we go, tally-ho. Dragonfly fortune with the 10 of Wands. So good fortune if you release what's burdening you. The hearse for endings, look, with the 3 of Swords. So yeah, these went beautifully together. Gallery of Hallucinations, Oraclr from the Asylum. It's a Patron Valenza deck. So I felt like image art-wise, they kind of went quite well together. I do use the book for this. Sweet Dreams, 9 of Coins. Shelter, Ace of Swords. Odlisk. Lovers. Sorry. Dismay, 2 of Pentacles. The Necromancer with the Fool. Yeah, so dramatic. Yeah, so Onslaught with the 10 of Cups. Survivor on the Moon. So yeah, I quite like mixing and matching these things up a little bit, although they all do feel like they quite nicely go together. Okay, a few things new to my collection. I meant to show this ages ago and I forgot. I think I bought it for around Halloween time. The brambleandbone.co.uk. Lovely little website. They've got some really nice items on there. So I went there and I purchased Corinne Boyer's book, Under the Bramble Arch, because Mad Witch made me do it, which is a Troy Books book, in case you're wondering. It's a second offering in a trilogy. So it's a trilogy of books by Corinne Boyer. I'm not really interested in having all of them, but this one, I can't remember what it was, but it links into like folk medicine, old things. It's got old herbs in it. And I just wanted it really, I guess, for my shelf. And then I can dip in and out of it as and when I want to. So I just really like the fact that it had stuff in here that was linked to the UK. I know Corinne Boyer's quite well recognised. She talks a lot about stuff from like Devon and things, and that is the area of the world in which I live right now. So it just felt pertinent to where I am. And I've noted that people are having more and more difficulties getting hold of such things. So again, another reason why I felt that I wanted to buy it before it went out of print. So lots of charms and lockets and workings and stuff in here. So I've got that one, and that one will just go on my shelf. It's a beautiful book. I'm glad I got it, because if it went out of print and I missed it, I'd be gutted. Now on this website, they sell other products, and I've got an orange and chocolate bath dust. It's called a bath shot, but I don't think you put the whole lot in the bath all at once. I'm not sure. So used in folklore to sweeten and bless, right? And then you've got instructions and ingredients there. So it's this gold and silver jar. I think it had a seal on, yeah. So you can just see in there. and it just smells of chocolate orange. It smells delightful. So self-love month, February, as part of my be kind to myself, because I haven't got a lot of energy right now, is I will use things around me rather than probably making things, because it takes up more of my energy. So that's what I'm going to do. That, and then another deck that's new to me, old to you, the Urban Tarot. I ordered it through Amazon because, as you know, that's where my decks come from, but I am careful about how I purchase through there. So it's a really nice little guidebook, tells you a bit about the card, about the artist, and then you get some words about advice on how to read the card, interpret the card. Okay, so that's the inside of the base of the box. You can pause and read that. The backs. So you have a guide to symbols on the cards. A bit about it and the creator. So this is reprinted in 2019. Yep. It should still be in order. They're quite big, these cards, so they're bigger than your average tarot card. They're really big actually, so I have to shuffle it that way. And they're glossy. So let's just have a quick look at these. I'll hold them a bit further down for you. So the Fool. Now I always thought I didn't need this deck, but I decided that actually I quite like him. The Mage, so you can see all the symbols hiding in that one. Here we have a High Priestess. So it's just slightly different. It's brought into modern day life. It's I have the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin, and because I had that one, I felt I didn't need this one, because that Poppy Palin's felt more relevant to my part of the world, whereas there's lots of landscape in here that's not really relevant to me. But you know, we change our minds, we change our opinions, we change our art taste. So here it is. There's the moon. Isn't that great? It's like underground sewers with, you know, the kind of things you find in Ghostbusters in the sewers. The sun. There's our Aeon, or Judgment. And I just think it's such a great depiction, and the way she's mirroring, there's like a older person there, an image of an older person, not this person necessarily, and the names that they're touching on the walls from past wars, remembrance, universe. And then it's Pip for the most part. The yeah, and you've got keywords on the bottom, but it's is that right? Yeah. So the court cards, whatever you want to call them, have changed the name slightly. So the Knight of Wands is the rock star. The Queen of Wands is the public defender. The Prince of Wands is the journalist. And the Princess of Wands is the dancer. Aces. Now these change names again. So we have the Seducer, the Therapist, the Filmmaker, the Romancer, I suppose, and the Costume Designer. And we have these swords. And we have our Game Master, the Painter, the Hacker, and the Activist. So you've got both names. Now, here we have the Gourmet Chef, the Matriarch, the Day Trader, and the Kindergarten Teacher. Now, I probably won't be going by any of these names. I'll be using the ones at the top because that confuses the heck out of me. I like a system to have same names right the way through, just like what we call, you know, the major arcana basically have their set names and numbers. They either need numbers on them or set names. I'm not sure which to say, but yeah, just so I can follow what I'm looking at. But yeah, got that one. So That one you'll see at some point in the rotation. I don't know when. I'm not planning on pulling it through immediately. And then finally, where am I at with my cards of the month? Because obviously I'm not writing them down. Now here's the weird thing. I did this back in May, June, and I wrote out my cards. So started here, next 12 months. Got through. January's written up. That went into my journals. February, I didn't get to it. How weird is that? So I never did it. The cards are all here waiting to be written up. So my cards are the Faith card. I had Protection from Sacred Destiny, the Messenger of Fire, and then my astrological cards for the 10th house. So we're in my 10th house of my Western astrology chart, and it was Virgo and the Moon from my birth chart. And how they related it to it. That was really weird actually to discover that I'd stopped and I don't have a paper journal to put them in. So it's almost like I knew. And these cards are all laid out. I've got them all here. They're all in here, in their order, waiting to be written up and dealt with and then put back into their respective decks. So they've been out all year. All year I've not been able to use those 4 decks because it's been waiting for me to finish. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think that's a really weird omen. It's almost like I knew then that the end of my practice was nigh. Right. That is everything from me. Let me know what you got up to for January. What changed for you? Do you use either of these journals? And what do you do for tracking your health, your moods, your weather and things? How are you tracking? If you track wind, how do you track it? Now, I do know that Truth and Story, Kelly Fitzgerald does, it's Fitzgerald, isn't it? Does, she's got like a weather geomancy course that you can do, but hers is for predicting. I don't want to predict. I want to understand the weather so that I can link it to me. Yeah. I just want to know which way the wind's blowing, really. That's it. I just want it as simple as that. Which way is the wind blowing? And so when you smell that sweetness on the air, does that mean there's an omen, good or bad, coming? That's all I'm looking to do. I'm looking to weather witch myself, I suppose. Right. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.